yes, today is on the Focus RS. Now, if you don't know the backstory on the Focus RS, I bought it as a wrecked car from Pickles Salvage Auctions, which is crazy because then I looked in the glove box and found receipts, and turns out my mate in Melbourne used to own the car. It had about 10 grand worth of modifications done to it. I rebuilt the car, got it inspected, got the damage cleared on it, took it over the pits, got it registered here in Western Australia. And the original intention was to pretty much track it and then sell it. I haven't been able to get to a track day for quite some time. Obviously because I bought the Falcon, been dealing with the Falcon. But now, I'm finally putting some time into the Focus. Let's get it to the track, hoon it around a track, and then I can sell it. Then I'll be happy with selling it. Get my money and then maybe put it into the XC. Or get another salvage car and then keep the vicious cycle going along. But anyways, first up on the list of things to get is a helmet. So I've been on Marketplace. I'm pretty sure I found one. So let's head to the meetup and hope that I don't get stabbed. Right, so we're waiting at the drop-off point for the Marketplace helmet. 35 bucks for a quality racing helmet. Meets all the regulations and all that sort of good stuff. So I'll let you guys know once I've acquired it. Ooh-wee! Look at that, it's not fancy. Does the job. It'll get me by. All right, step one, acquire the helmet, done. Now we're gonna go back home, make up this fire extinguisher bracket and get that in. All right, we're back. And we've got fire extinguisher as well, a little 1 kilo boyo. So essentially, this is what I'm thinking of doing to get the bracket done. There are already pre-existing brackets that exist for the Mark III RS Focus, and they look like this thing. Use these mounting points here. And I have bracket that comes out, bends down, runs along here, and then bends back up and mounts to there. So pretty simple. We'll press in some dimples to give it a bit of extra strength. But yeah. That's in theory, it should work. It should work quite well. Also, if you don't know, this is a pfeffernusse, and it's around this time of the year, around the Christmas time. Aldi start selling them. I'm sure you can get them elsewhere, but pfeffernusse is the best biscuit. Icing on a ginger biscuit, and it tastes, it's so fucking good. Easily destroy a whole packet of pfeffernusse. And it's fun to say. Pfeffernusse tastes great with a good port or a red wine, but then again, I'm equally happy with Scotch fingers, so. Righto, here's what I'm thinking. We've got about, the holes that we need to mount to are about 340, 345. And then it's essentially gonna come down, bend down, and run across here, and the extinguisher will be mounted there. So I've got this, I think 1.2, 1.3 mil steel. This thick boy stuff. Very bloody rigid. Very rusted too, but that doesn't really matter. And I've just got enough of this one section to hit that 34.5. And it's got to be around 150 in length to come down from the bolt, bend around here, and then go down to cover the area I need to mount the extinguisher to. So we'll get that shape cut up and we'll click of the fingers. All right. So, here's the dimple die kit. Looks complex, lots of different bloody bits and bobs, but essentially what you're doing is you want to press this through the metal and have the metal in between these two things, and you go, and that'll press that shape into the metal. Strengthens the steel. I'll show you what I mean later on when I actually do it, but to get that exact hole, you've got to use the cutters. So these cutters will come through and they'll clamp the steel and they'll cut the steel in the hole that we want. But to get the steel over that, you need to drill that sized hole. So, 3-step process. So let's drill a hole. While we're at it, we'll drill a hole for the bolts. So, here is the seat belt right now. And I've got 10.5 here. That's pretty much it. I've got an 11 here as well, but I'm going to go 10.5. Try and keep it tight. We'll see how it fits. Am I actually disabled?
Yes, the answer to that is a resounding bloody yes. Anyways, here I've got to drill out the holes to the correct size so I can fit the stud thing through, just like that. And that screws into the little jacking bottle dooble wacky that presses the things through. Now that doesn't make any sense until you see it happen. So here's the little jacking bottle doober thingy that I was talking about 3 seconds ago. Put that in, put the washer down, and that's the bottom thing that essentially presses against the plate. That top part there is what actually gets pressed through and cuts through it. Imagine the jack is just jacking down to the table, and it's bringing that thing here along with it. Whereas the bottom piece sort of stays in place, and that's what presses against the metal. So the top piece just comes through and cuts like so. Now we're moving on to the actual dimple die process, now that you've got the hole big enough. And this, you can see it right here, the plate sort of bends in a way, and then it flattens out, and that's when you know you're done. And there it is, a beautiful little dimple die. So now I've just got to do that times 3. Well, times 2, because I've got to do it 2 more times.
Alright, dimple dyed. How good's that look? It looks rough as all hell is how it looks. In fact, I'm not even sure if the bolt holes are somewhat lined up, but it doesn't really matter. Next thing, I only just realised as I was performing all this, I sort of marked out roughly that the fire extinguisher would sit up here. But how am I going to fix the fire extinguisher bracket to this panel? Obviously, oh, that works out bloody well. Oh, I didn't even want to do that. But that, look at that. Now it sits flush because that sits in the, I'll tell you what, sometimes things just work. Now, the only sort of way I was thinking of fixing this to there was, because obviously it can't protrude too far above or too far below. You know, you got things either side. I'll come up with something and I'll get back to you.
And as I'm describing my beautiful plan, I realise I don't have my microphone turned on, so here I am. Anyways, I just took 2 pieces of the same metal, same thickness metal, welded them or tacked them to the back, and then drilled the holes through those parts where the metal was thicker and tapped through it so these bolts could go through and get some purchase into the steel and hold the bracket on. So that looks Gucci as. Anyways, the actual piece looks like crap, as you can see. So I took it off, straightened up all the edges. Look at that now. It looks all bloody beautiful, doesn't it? Anyways, ready for paint and to go back in.
Ah, all right. Now, audio's plugged in. I was just saying, I've got PTSD. I don't use power tools with torque splits because I've got PTSD from either stripping the bit or stripping the bolt. So always hand when I do these, boys. All right, cool. Now, can I get... All right, I can get a bit of flexation on that. So, 1 hit. Hang on, I might need 2 hands for this. Would you just bloody look at it? I have half a mind to just clear coat that metal, you know? Make it look spicy. All right. I've somehow not test fitted it once, and I mean that, you know, there's a bit of a, really got to push that in, obviously because this corner, okay, maybe I can bend, right, let me make some scratches, there and there, if that sort of follows that contour, that'll allow that to line up, but I'm pretty happy with that. So, let's make that little bend. And I'm just going to commit, I'm just going to paint it. Right, boys, use the trusty KBS black paint. Ooh, it's looking fresh. Now, let's get that mounted to it. Put the bolts in, cut them short, get it in the car. All right, there we have it. Look at that, baby. Just cut them pretty much flush. Doesn't matter if they can come out or not because I only really need it to work once. And by work once, it means it's just going to stay there forever. And then whoever buys it off me will think, bloody hell, look at this piece of fine equipment. This must be like factory Ford component or some sorts. I should probably see if it actually fits with the fire extinguisher in the car. Let's, hang on, I've got to use the old 2 hands for this. Oh, look at that, hey? Also, if you're wondering why I'm using this, my 3/8 ratchet broke. Would you believe? The super cheap auto, and it was the Super Tool Premium one too. I've only had it for a couple of months and it broke. So, all my other 3/8 ratchets are at work. Obviously all my good shit's at work, and at home I've got all the random stuff. So yeah, 3/8 ratchet broke, I'm using this. This does the job just fine. A couple of months out of the super cheap auto tool, and this Sid Chrome ratchet I've got here, this 1/2 inch, I've had him for 15 years now. Still going strong. It's one of the very first tools I got. Torque those to spec. Click. Click. All right. They're torqued up. Let's get that fire extinguisher in. Oh, mate, would you look at it? Let me get some light in here for you. Hey, perfection. Well, not really perfection, but it'll do. The only disappointing thing about this is you can't see the pretty dimple dies. I mean, maybe there, but look, it does the job, I guess. Anyways, fire extinguisher bracket, done. It's only now that I realise it's 6 p.m. now. I'm in the morning session as well, so I'm first up in the morning. I'm gonna head down to the racetrack, and I'm only now realising I've never actually looked at the equipment of this car, like the towing shit. I don't know if it has a towing eye. Oh, okay, cool, thank God. All right, it's got a towing eye. All right, focus is done, ready to go. I think I've got everything. I'm pretty sure I do. I'm just gonna go inside, double check, and I'll see you guys in the morning on the way to the track.
Alright, it's track day morning, and as you can see, quite a bit of variety here. The main cars that were present that day was the road registered vehicles, so that was the biggest sort of class. Then you got little XLs and other race cars, like this SF90 Ferrari, who is in my division, as you'll see later on. But for this first session here, I got gapped by everyone. Everyone's absolutely just hammering past me because I just wanted to get a feel for the track, see where my break points were, see sort of what I could get away with and where, and didn't really send it too hard. I think my average lap time for this when I was editing, I had a little gander, and it was like a minute 23 around the track, which is pretty slow, especially in this kind of car. All right, we've just done the first session. They're only 10-minute long sessions, but it feels like a long time when you're out there. And when I'm on the go-karts, I usually absolutely send the go-karts to the limit. But in this, I've got a lot more money in this car, so I find myself I'm pulling back a whole lot. And I'm getting overtaken by cars that I could definitely keep up with if you had a professional driver in each. They would keep up with each other. But I'm driving this one, so I'm slow as shit. Definitely takes some getting used to going around a corner at like 110 kilometers an hour and trusting that you're just gonna carry on out to the edge of the track and not go into the sand. So I'm not here to set the fastest time, I'm just here to have fun, drive this car to an extent of how it should be driven. Oh no, you Falcon. But even on the straightaway, I'm getting absolutely gapped. When I'm foot flat to the floor, I'm getting gapped by guys in Civics and M3s and M4s. Like there's some Japanese blokes next to me in Civic Type R's, and there is some money into them. They're running spoon engines, minimum.
3 Honda Civics with spoon engines.
Play the waiting game for session 2, and we'll get back out there and give it another shot.
And you'll notice behind me is a yellow Ferrari SF90. So I'm hoping he babies it enough that he doesn't want to put it into a wall, and I can try and keep ahead of him. I don't like my chances though, at all. I might even turn the AC off for this one. We're in race mode and we're ready to go.
Alright, going out for the warm-up lap, that's the first lap, and then I got a little bit more comfortable with giving it a little send. So this is my second session, and this is where I started to get used to the corners and used to what was going on, and I got a little bit more confident on the track. So I'll shut up, and I'll just, and you can just watch and listen to the nice sounds that the car makes. Also, have a look at my little window washer jet there, it's poking up. God, that really pisses me off every time I jump in the car, but it doesn't piss me off enough to do something about it. Anyways, back to the racing.
Alright, we're chasing this BMW, this M3. We've got the SF90, we've got a Ferrari SF90 hot on our tail. I don't know why I'm using our. It's definitely my tail. I am the one in danger here. Oh, on the straight, this Ferrari's gonna fucking have me. He's coming on the outside. I'm gonna slow down, let him pass. Fucking sends it past me, as he should. I mean, you pay $500,000 for a car, you'd want it to overtake a Ford Focus. But I reckon I've got him on the corners. On the straight, there he goes. But he's braking very early for these corners. Obviously he doesn't want to fucking send his, you know, $450,000, $500,000 car into the fucking sand, but
Alright, so this is my third session, and I was determined that this would be my last session because I could just feel the car was getting absolutely punished. So I gave it a couple of warm-up laps before going for the fastest absolute lap that I could do. Brake pedal now. Obviously the brakes are still definitely hot from that last session. Brake pedal feels a little bit spongy. It's a nice cool down drive on the way home. And when we get home, have a look at these tyres. Check out the tyres, see how they've fared. Check out the brakes, brake pads. Because I sent it on that last one. Like, there was times in the first and second, well maybe, there were times in the second session where I thought, oh, that's the extent of it. That's as hard as I can push this car around there. But it wasn't. I could push it much harder than that. And it's only really until I almost came off the track and sort of heard the tyres screeching as I hit the edge of the track that I realised, all right, maybe that was the limit. We might need a little service on the brakes. Might need to take this into Ford, get a little service done. You might think, well, you're a mechanic. You can do the brakes yourself. I can. But do I want to? No. Absolutely not. I've not got the time for that. I've got shit that needs to be done on the XC. I've got plenty of automotive adventures that need to be carried out in the coming week. Because, like I'll cover in another video, I'm about to leave for an extended period of time to go somewhere on a very different adventure that I cannot disclose as of yet. I probably won't be able to disclose until well into next year. That's not a concern for now. Right now, let's get home, check the car out. All right, so we're back home. Let's have a look at the Focus, see how cooked it is. All right, first thing, I did lose the RS badge the other day. It fell off when I was driving, so that's pretty disheartening because they're quite expensive, and to get the white gel overlay for it so it matched the whole white and blue theme, it took a long time, so that's fun. Right, check these wheels out in there. It is just brake dust city, absolutely. Took some millimeters off those pads, that's for sure. Still plenty left though. And the tyres have that feel to them, that soft rubbery feel. They got that look about them, that done some hard shit look. This is on the passenger side, still got a bit of pad left on. Oh, what is that? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. That is that is grease. You know what that means? That is a CV boot. Passenger side CV boot has let go. That's fantastic. All right. But to be honest, if that's the cost of having a pretty good day at the track, pretty stoked with that. I had an awesome time. There are a couple of points there where I could have gone a little bit harder given the car, but at the same time, me wanting to sell this car soon, I didn't want to put it into the sand or be that guy. Or got me thinking I want to buy an AU, an XR8 AU, and just have it as a dedicated track car. Get the V8 supercar kit going on. That's a really good idea. I can make a green-eyed monster replica.
Oh, you can see how he's struggling for grip there.
That would be sick. All right, enough talk about an AU race car. I've got the wheels off. And we've got some light in here. So we can see on this passenger side, we're flinging grease. Now, can't really see where on the boot it's split, but it's flinging out regardless, so it needs to be changed out. Can't do anything about that. At this current point in time, I need to order a new boot kit, and I won't be able to do that until I get back from my little adventure in December. Here's the wheel. Ooh. Coming out at a rate of knots, that's for sure. But all I can do now, clean the wheels, get them looking all nice and sparkly and white again. I'll have to get around to this when I get back in December. So if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, I hope that you subscribed or gave the video a like at least. Let me know in the comments what kind of car I should get as a permanent race car. Because that Honda Accord was setting some pace, and I bet I could pick one up for like $1,000 and throw another $1,000 worth of suspension mods on it and send it. But cheap race car series, maybe that's next. Maybe that can kick off next year. Anyways, I'll see you guys next Saturday.